there is one important preliminary step that you need to watch when running the gCADPlus automated schedule, and that is you need to click Format and Text Styles and just check the name of your current text style. So if we set, oops, don't need to redefine it, if we set a style as this draft has done, of one called 50 text in a font called Arial. I prefer to name mine the same as the font name, but that's another issue. We make that text style current. So the schedule is going to draw the text in that particular style. So let's run it, and we'll just run the draw standard schedule. Now the height of text in the schedule depends very much on the rectangle that you draw to contain it. So if we draw a relatively small rectangle, the schedule will be drawn in that space, and you can see the text is drawn in our current font and is relatively small. If I'll leave that one there, it's a block so you can edit it, but I'll explode that block so it sits there. What I'll now do is run the schedule again, but make the table that contains the plant schedule much taller. So gCADPlus plant schedule, draw the schedule again. This time I'll sit it there and I'll at least double the height, and now you should be able to compare the height of the text in the table on the left and the height of the text over here. You might, for the sake of argument, want to make the heading there a little larger. So since it's a block, you can say I'm going to edit that block, dive into the first row and select plant. We could make it slightly taller. We'll make it 50 units and unselect all. And now we could use the modify and match properties tool and just say I'll pick up the height of that one and match it to the other lines, whoops, sorry about that, and match there. So now when we close our block editor and return to the drawing here, you can see we've got a slightly higher text or larger text across the top in the table. So it is just a matter of experimenting a little with the space that you take for drawing the table, otherwise things might look a little small. That is the standard plant schedule table, but you've got, and let's just explode that block. You have lots of other options. If we come over here and run the custom content one, you're asked down in the command area to answer a few questions. Do you want to include the plant symbol? That's the symbol on the left in that schedule. Or we'll say no in this instance. Do we want to, sorry, that was an invalid value. I'll hit N for no. Do we want to include the red circle markers? I'll say yes. Do I want the code? I'll say yes. Do I want to include the botanical name? Yes. The common name? Yes. Do I want to print the common name under the botanical name? I'll say yes. And now we can set our corner point. I'll just zoom out a little and I'll draw it much the same size. So we come to here, might need a little more width because we're going to add some extra columns, and the schedule is then drawn. So we've drawn a different schedule. We've got the code. Probably that schedule could be a little narrower. So if we just hit yes, yes, answer, leave the defaults as set, and I'll just make that somewhat narrower, and I end up with a schedule that meets my specification. So the little symbol in there, you can copy that symbol and paste it in that zone where Abelia grandiflora is specified in the design. So you could do that in a number of ways. You could say I'm going to edit that block. You could jump in here and select that and copy it to the clipboard. Now we could close the block editor, and we could come over here and we could find the Abelia grandiflora, which I think was this zone through here, and we can paste from the clipboard that little symbol, and in it goes. We might want to scale it at that point and make it maybe 5 times larger. So we've got the little symbol now, and we could move it into position. And the reason for that option is that's the way some people like to classify and link plants in the design to a schedule. I'll just move that across here. This design has a number of ways of identifying a plant. This designer has put a line and a piece of text, 5 SH Solia heterophylla. We could find that it's Solia heterophylla by coming into the design area, and it should be in alphabetical order, so we should be able to scroll down. There's Solia heterophylla, and there is the symbol. So it's horses for courses. You have lots of options for tagging and labeling and working out. It seems that every landscape designer wants to label plants in different ways and identify them in different ways, and what we've done is try and give you as many options as you want. For mine, the gCADPlus plant schedule draw standard schedule is by far the easiest, quickest and easiest way to generate the automatic plant schedule. Don't forget that if you change your numbers of plants, you just need to update the schedule, and the count number will increase easily or in concert with those changes.